Welcome to the Co-Pilots podcast, a show that's the same every single week. We take two TV shows that share a similar theme, although we really haven't for this one.
Or fucking any of them.
Some of them do.
Sometimes we nail it, but sometimes it's tenuous at best.
Sometimes completely accidental.
Sometimes I'm trying to think. There was one real bad one last year. I can't remember what it was.
What, one real bad episode that we made?
There was like one real bad, like, tenuous link that was so bad. It was just like, no, in later seasons these both have this actor in them.
Wasn't it the Romanovs and the Terror, which have absolutely nothing to do with each other whatsoever.
Yeah, except the picture from one and the title from the other make you think they're both going to be period pieces.
They're both set on tall ships.
Yeah.
What we got this week? It's a good one. It's half a good one, which is, half better than what we normally do. I don't know.
We're watching a good show and a bad show.
Yeah, Legacies and Manifest, and yeah, safe to say I think we preferred one over the other.
Yeah, but you'll have to keep listening to find out. See, not giving it away which one's bad.
It's Legacies.
I tried.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, and if you fancy it, we're all over social media, like the boomers we are. Well,
one of them's good.
Now, we've already talked. We've talked a little bit. And there's been some texting.
And there was a video sent.
Yeah. With you just telling the main characters to, five. I don't even know. Maybe main characters. Maybe just side characters. I don't really give a shit about most of the people in Legacy. There was, one of them that...
Legacies.
As far as I'm concerned... Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it should be Legacy, because there was one character that was kind of like... You might be interesting, but everyone else can fuck off.
Right.
What's her name?
I've no idea. So this Legacies is based on Originals, which is based on the Vampire Diaries. Have I got that right? It's a spin-off of the Originals and features characters from both that series and its predecessor, the Vampire Diaries. So we originally did Vampire Diaries back in season 1, and neither of us can remember a single thing about it.
So, this is a CW show, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't need to look at it. I can tell it's a CW show because it's a spin-off of a spin-off. Just like fucking Legends of Tomorrow.
There's a real weird tone and look and feel to CW shows.
Everything's just quite clean and polished.
Yeah, there's no grit. They're all the most beautiful looking people with ridiculous problems that aren't problems.
I didn't know.
And
Oliver Queen got stranded on a desert island and became a vigilante because his dad shot himself in front of him. And his parents were supervillains, sort of.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he. Compared to these cunts, he had some problems.
Oh my god, they're just the whingiest, whiniest. It's basically it. But this is the thing that I don't understand. Okay, so they acknowledge that it's like Harry Potter, but a few years on, and this is almost a uni version of it. There's parties and smoking and drinking and all that sort of shit. But it's just bollocks. So there's a bit where they're at this supernatural school and they're playing, I don't know, American football or something, and it's all going really well, and someone chucks it and some sparkles come out the ball and you're like, oh, that's pretty, and then one of them moves really quick, well, that's kind of unfair, and then one of them just fucking uses the force and moves the ball. It's like, what's the fucking point? If you've got that player, just go, right, so what's the tactics for this game? Well, we could send the vampire out to sprint round, get past this way, get to the other way. Yeah, we could do that. Or
we'll use the Jedi.
Here, I'll point at it. Do you remember that Mitchell and Webb sketch where it's Angel Summoner and BMX Bandit? And every crime they come across, the BMX Bandit's like, right, I'll get on my bike, jump across there, grind on there, do a bunny hop tail whip and knock that guy out. And Angel Summoner's like, yes, it's an excellent plan. Or I could just summon a horde of angels to do it for us.
I just want to point out that this school is called the Salvatore School for Young and Gifted. I don't want to say this is somewhat ripping off some other properties, but...
Well, X-Men,
Hogwarts,
whatever the fuck Percy Jackson goes to.
Twilight,
that other
probably.
one. Nah, I don't think there's a school in Twilight, is there?
Yeah, that's where they all meet. They go to high school. Like, the 1,000-year-old vampires go to high school.
But that's a normal school, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But they have vampires and werewolves. They're ripping off Dracula and just shitting on him.
Well, they even say that in this. There's a character who goes, hey, you know what, Twilight, that's a bunch of bollocks. It was really good. Blade. Why is that good? Oh, he kills his mum and he's really excited. Like, just, oh yeah, Blade is amazing. Why is that? Because he killed his mum. What?
The thing is, this another one of those shows that you think the idea has potential? Because, like, a school for supernatural things rather than just, like, witches and wizards is cool. And, like, a more adult version of that is cool, where people have, like, problems. And then I started to hear their problems and I went, oh, fuck.
Yeah, when one of them is literally, you know, my problem is, oh, this person won't talk to me. It's like, oh, fucking grow up.
Oh, my girlfriend broke up with me. I know, I'm going to set her on fire. And no one's mad at that. Someone just kind of goes, oh, hey, so you set your girlfriend on fire, help me do some magic. And I was like...
Yeah, and at that point, Headmaster's like, we really should have like some sort of dark magic detector. I'm sure that wouldn't be too difficult to arrange. But there's fucking Bint's arms on fire.
Yeah, you know, sort of, okay, fair enough. And I mean, some of it, I was sort of, I think maybe Hope's character, like the sort of weird hybrid who's like, my blah 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 was this, my blah 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 was this. Oh, tribrid or whatever she called it.
Yeah, that bit made me laugh. She's like, oh, my dad was a werewolf and my mum was a vampire, and I was like, okay, fine. My nan was a witch. I was like, fuck me, calm down.
Yeah, there's a bit of it. It's just like, cool. And also, I don't think hybrid means two things.
No. It's a bybrid.
Yeah. Hybrid is in fact...
You can have a three-way hybrid thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't ever looked into, like...
the etymology of hybrid.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily just between two separate things. If it is, I'm happy to be wrong. And that's absolutely fine.
I mean, yeah, actually, I guess, yeah, fucking technically.
Oh, really? Okay, fair enough. Is a tribrid is absolutely not a recognised term, though, is it? Tribrid. The first thing that comes up is Vampire Diaries, so I don't think that's true.
So, officially, the offspring of two plants or animals of different species.
Okay, fair.
The second one
fair.
is a thing made by combining two different elements. The third thing is a mixed character comprised of different elements. So, fuck you, Legacies. If we go down to the definition that matches what we want it to, we are right and you are wrong.
You know that's how fascists get into power, don't you?
Uh-huh. Why do you think I moved to London?
Stop the count.
By the time this goes out, there's going to be an old joke, and Donald Trump's going to be in prison.
I know. Yeah, but, you know. What was I going to say? This is my trouble, right? And I completely accept this isn't the show necessarily the show's fault. I have no fucking clue who anyone is. Like, the Hope is like main girl, and then the like headmaster of the school is this guy called Zoltzman, who I'm sure Hope referred to as Dad.
No,
once.
it was a different one that called him Dad. It was his daughter. Because, you know, the twins.
I'm sure
The
that
twins
I was
are
it was
hit
Hope.
there.
Yeah, no,
His
I
daughters.
get that the twins were. Oh, the blonde one when she was whinging. Jesus Christ, that fucking irritated me.
Yeah, that's when you... Yeah, that's the video you sent.
But-
It was like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck off. Did you rewind it to film that? Or did you just go, I'm
No,
sure
I
I'm
just-
going to have some stuff to
Yep.
swear at here?
Yeah, it was exactly it. I was like, oh, this looks like a fucking whingy scene. I started filming it, and then she said that. I was like, oh, fuck off. But yeah, I found it quite tricky to like keep up with who was who these fucking Mickelson pricks are, because there seem to be a lot of them, and they're all sorts of different things.
I think that's potentially the... I think my main issue with the show is it introduced me to too many characters. And just kind of went,
Yeah.
keep up. And it was... And while I don't mind a show that does that, they still need to introduce the characters and sort of show me why I care. Not
Yeah, definitely.
in sort of like partly I might be a sociopath, so you have to show me how to care. But
Yeah, that is true.
and the other part is this show is going to have a lot of characters because it's a fucking school, and I get that, but only give me names to add to the ones that I give a shit about. And because this is a CW show where they've like introduced these characters in something else, they are clearly going to make at least a season, so you don't need to rush and introduce me to every single character in episode 1. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, a lot of other shows have to introduce you to the main players in episode 1 to sort of go, oh, hey, it's not just these guys, there's some other shit going on. What's in this one? They go, oh, it's magic. And you kind of go, there's going to be other shit going on. Like, you've got a bad guy somewhere.
This is the fucking weird part, right? So, this is the thing with Landon. So he comes in as sort of a muggle, for want of a better phrase, and this is what doesn't make sense to me. Is their entire thing is, the school, we're a school for supernatural beings and people with special abilities. We must remain secret. So what we're going to do with you, who has managed to fucking find your way in here, we're going to tell you everything about the school, give you a little tour, then put you in a dungeon for a night, and then we're going to do a memory spell on you.
And hope that it works and have no way of verifying. Yeah, they're dumb cunts.
That's a really, really bad plan.
Yeah, like, there's nothing in that that's a good idea, but...
Particularly when the first memory charm doesn't work, and then they're like, shit, well now we've got to keep you in a dungeon. At which point,
it might have
really
been,
made
it might
me
have been
laugh.
that fucking sheriff who's just putting shit in people's coffee. Which really, like, got super looked over, and I looked over it at the time, and I just
What?
remembered about it, and I was just I don't think that's okay.
Oh dear. And then, so then he's led down into this dungeon. Oh, it goes, here you are, this is where we've got to keep you. She's like, oh yeah, it looks like a witch's dungeon. She goes, no, it's a werewolf transformation space. He's like, yeah, no, it feels like a dungeon. And she says, it's definitely not a dungeon. Then locks the door and fucks off.
Yeah, they can call it what they want, but it's a dungeon.
It's a fucking dungeon. And he's like, and she goes, oh, and you're not a prisoner here, I promise.
Click.
I was like, if I was him, I would very much go, this fucking feels like a prison, let me tell you.
Yeah, the thing, I think, I don't know, maybe it's because we're British, or because I've watched Being Human, and I think that does the dynamic of what this school is trying to achieve is to make these, like, psycho teenagers, like, normal and functional in society. But the show that does that right for me is Being Human, because they kind of go, oh hey, we're just monsters trying not to be monsters and not to, oh fuck, I've killed a bunch of people, I should probably not do that. But I think putting them in it gives them that sort of safety net, so they don't have to, I guess, show the dark side of what mythical creatures with their powers could do, and then like have them have to like deal with it.
I mean, I guess, yeah. But then you get this weird sort of heel turn from Landon, where like they're getting on smashingly well, and she's gone for a run as a wolf, and he's bumped into her, and she's gone, oh, here's another thing that I'm going to tell you that hopefully you'll forget in the morning. When we do exactly the same test that failed just a minute ago on you. Yeah, we're getting on really well. It's all going nicely and stuff. And he's all like, oh, do you remember when we danced? Blah, 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 blah. And then they wake up the next morning to find that he's escaped and he's stolen a knife. And there's a bunch of dead people on the bus that he was on. So, like, I don't really understand what that's doing with his character. Is that setting it? Because then her sort of speech at the end is all like, oh, I'm going to find him, I'm going to be the villain of his story, he's going to, oh, I'm really going to make him pay, all that sort of stuff. You know, well, I don't really, like, is he set up as the villain of the thing? Or, I got very confused.
I don't know, I'm sort of scrolling through because I'm curious. But not curious.
Curious enough to watch it.
Okay, so I've just scrolled down to season 1 of episode 2, and Landon's still in it.
Okay.
Except episode 16, the last line is, Hope kills Landon.
Oh, cool. Well, never mind.
Landon resurrects.
Oh.
And forgets Hope.
Oh, so it does work.
Like the person, not the feeling. Just sat around in the dungeon just like, no, I don't want to leave. I can't remember what Hope is. But
yeah, I mean, to be
it
fair,
sounds mental.
this chat that we've had about it is far more entertaining than the show itself.
Yeah, I mean, the Headless Horseman's in it. Just saying, he's in it.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about, like, maybe Americans can't do monster right.
This is the thing, right? I don't know how it's so hard to get werewolves so wrong.
Because this is the third show that's got werewolves in it that we've watched, and the first two were like,
yeah,
this could have been cool if it had been
That's
written
right,
by a British person.
You know what's coming up though? Big Wolf on Campus, and that was a good show. To be fair, I don't really remember Big Wolf on Campus that much. I remember it being on and me being scared of it because it was a werewolf, and at the time I was scared of werewolves.
Oh, how times have changed.
Innit?
The thing is, like, if they keep making them, we'll keep watching them until we find a good one.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna, while we've been chatting, I've been working on a little art project. I'm gonna send you a picture of it now.
I'm interested. Have you drawn a werewolf?
Sculpting. Not quite.
Let's have a look at it.
There's a lot of banging going around on your end. What's happening?
Okay, cool. It's a penis.
It's made of blue tack. It's not mine. Yeah, I'm not going to carry on watching this.
No.
Definitely not.
I don't. There's just nothing in. I didn't find anything interesting.
There's
enough,
simultaneously not enough and too much in this show.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but there's not any substance.
Yeah, style over substance. All style and no substance.
Yeah. But
yeah,
shall we talk about the pilot of Manifest?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Yeah. Finally, a TV show about an aeroplane that we've managed to watch the pilot of.
And it's good. Wait a minute, we did Lost, didn't we? That's got a plane in it.
We haven't done Lost.
Fuck off. Yes, we have.
Have
Yeah, like season 1. I'm sure we did.
Oh, it's not on the list.
Right. Well, I definitely watched it around that time.
Just well, I've seen it. Like, okay, cool, buddy. Well done, you.
I've seen it, and as you know, we share memories. So
Yeah.
I was sure we'd done Lost. That's insane that we haven't.
No, I think it's both. I think because I've only heard about how it ends. I'm like, I can't be bothered to ever watch that again.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. We started it in lockdown. I've just remembered.
Yeah. So season 1.
Yeah, no, we haven't done Lost. Anyway, yes, Manifest. This is kind of... It feels like they've taken a Twilight Zone episode and stretched it over 2 series, but it's actually... It feels like it's got legs.
Yeah, because it does the opposite of what Legacies did. Because these are somehow linked as TV shows.
They're both ready for a 3rd season.
And supernatural stuff, I guess. But it introduces
more
you,
sort of sci-fi. It's got a sci-fi flavour more, this one, I think.
Yeah, I think I want to say it's more... I'd edge more towards a supernaturally sci-fi end.
Yes.
Because on Wikipedia it's listed as Manifest is an American supernatural drama. So I want to go with supernatural, but I don't want to disregard your opinion.
Thanks very much.
I want to make you feel bad for being wrong. But yeah, it introduces you to like 3 or 4 characters.
And that's enough.
Yeah. Because as it turns out, human beings are complicated. Especially when they very innocently just go, fuck yeah, I'll take $400 to get on the next plane. When's that ever gone wrong for anyone? So then Q...
I missed that bit.
Yeah, they get
I didn't realise that.
because that's how Prince Charming, Ben in this.
What?
He's Prince Charming in Once Upon a Time.
Oh, that doesn't help. Ben is the brother, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, he convinces his wife, and he's just like, "But think that could pay for another holiday that we'll take in 6.5 years, in 5,
5 years.
some number of years." And she's just like, "Oh yeah, I suppose." And the thing, the show doesn't give you anything. It just kind of goes, "Oh, a little bit of turbulence." And then,
yeah, but knowing the sort of show that, well, to be fair, I didn't know much about it, but I figured with that turbulence, I was like, that's not just turbulence, is it? Something's happened.
the only thing is because I bought it on Prime,
Yeah.
and the thumbnail for that had the Ben and Michaela like on the thumbnail, and I was like, so when they were on the plane I was like, this plane ain't going down. But I didn't realize it was a time travel thing. I thought it was just going to be like cool, superpowers.
This is the my main sort of worry with a show like this is that, I mean, do we think that the creators know what it is that's caused it, or and is the show going to be their sort of exploration to try and find an answer as to exactly what happened, or are they going to kind of forget about trying to find out why, how and why and what happened, or is it just going to now be an exploration on coping with them having been gone for 5 years? Do you see what I mean? So, like, is it going to be they're exploring the consequences of having been gone for 5 years and then coming back, or is it going to be a case of trying to get to the bottom of exactly what happened?
That's interesting.
Because I kind of would prefer it if they just went, well, that's just, you were gone for 5 years, and then it's just the human reactions and consequences as a result of them having disappeared for 5 years, rather than being like, we've got to find out what happens, and it's all like time pools and shit.
Yeah, I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't essentially Stephen King it, where they suddenly go, oh fuck, we've been cancelled, we need to explain it. Ah, fucking aliens messing about in that.
Okay, there's a lot of flashbacks. I'm just having a quick look at the.
I'm not surprised because they're now going to have to, because we got to follow Ben and Michaela's like arc through the time jump. So now they'll have to flash back to, I guess, potentially what people were doing beforehand or on the plane.
Yeah, that I wouldn't mind, because that actually is exactly what Lost does. Is it goes back and shows, like, you know, leading up to the crash. It does show like exactly what everyone's doing and where they are and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's what Arrow sort of used flashbacks for, except they were all Oliver's flashbacks, and it was like he would suddenly be like, "Oh, by the way, there's something I haven't told you," and it's like,
That's convenient.
And it's like, oh, that perfectly fits the exact thing that we're doing for this next hour. Cool. But I think if they're used right, flashbacks are a great tool to be like, oh hey, you've sort of seen a bit about this person, but like also here's some backstory that you would have been bored if we just, because if you just put all the backstory up front, I don't care anymore.
I've heard the opposite though. I've heard someone, I can't remember, it was probably on my film course somewhere. Someone said like if you have to use flashbacks, you've failed in telling your story. And I was like, well,
It depends.
I mean,
in a film, yes. I think, well,
I don't know. Memento. You haven't got a film if you don't have flashbacks.
I think if you use it right, I think it's a perfectly valid thing to do, because you're not sort of going like, oh hey, remember this. You're giving them a new point of view or a new like data point to work out why a character's doing something.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you see someone save the hero in it or save the villain. Save the villain's a much better one. So you see like some random person on the street run over the hero of your story, saving the villain from like certain death. But then you see in getting to that final confrontation, the hero has accidentally pushed a baby stroller into the street that's been hit by a truck. Like
well done.
You suddenly go, oh hey, with that new data point, I'm not sure who the hero is anymore. I think it's the cunt in the car. But
I think it's the truck driver.
Yeah. Like, I think it's, you can't give everyone's backstory up front, especially in a TV show where you've got more time to play with, I think. But I suppose if they're overused, if it's, you get 23 minutes into every episode that goes, here's 10 minutes of flashback.
I think that's kind of what Lost gets into. I'm saying this completely substantiate. I've not watched all of Lost, so I've no idea. But that's what I've heard, is it's a lot of flashbacks and stuff. We should explain what happens in Manifest, because I'm sure as we've gone straight into it. So, there's a plane that takes off from Jamaica to New York. When it lands, it appears that 5 years have passed.
Yeah, you forgot about the little bit of turbulence.
There you go.
Where
there's a little bit of turbulence.
Where baby saving lady, she accidentally cures cancer and then smashes a laptop. Turbulence.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, there's nothing hugely important on there, was it? And she was like, oh, just some research. Go back and watch that scene. Look how much she's written on that Word document. That's not that important because it's a paragraph.
She might have been writing an index or a summary. She might have been writing like the front page that's just like, hey, by the way, guys, I cured cancer.
Yeah. Here's how to cure cancer. Step 1, turbulence. Smash the laptop.
I'll just play it off like, oh yeah, no, I've been in Jamaica researching for 6 years. Just, your eyes are real red. Like, yeah. Researching.
I also felt quite bad for the air steward when she's like, "Oh, does it want any nuts?" Blah blah. Blah. Then there's a big old jump around because of the turbulence. That really horrible cunt just leans over and goes, I'm gonna need another drink. And she's like, you and me both. I felt really bad for her. I was like, oh, don't be horrible to her. She's nice.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think, at the end... Oh, yeah, I suppose we should probably stop skipping ahead. So then they come back and it's all sad because their mum's dead. And one of Ben's kids is all grown up. Michaela's life is still a shit show from the sounds of it. Her fiance that she hadn't quite said yes to yet married her best friend.
Yep.
Real good shit.
I mean, this is the thing, because I could completely see both sides of that argument of like, well, you've been gone 5 years. I thought you were dead. Of course people are going to move on. And then on her side, I was like, you fucking dickhead.
And that's the thing. It was... Because up until, you sort of go, I suppose travelling through time, that's a bit sort of weird. But cool, let's see how this plays out. And then it was like, they had that reunion. I was like, oh fuck, these are just people. And then they just had all their reactions. I was like, oh shit, I like this show. That's how early on I was
really like it.
I'm into this. I like it. When it didn't, you don't get into the sort of supernaturally stuff until later on. Sort of, I think you get it's halfway through the episode, or you hear a bit of it earlier on, the voice in her head.
Yeah.
But you don't hear it she doesn't get off the plane and it's just a voice going, hey, 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 over here.
Do this.
It's just
I can talk to you from the future now.
Yeah, it's just you get little hints here and it's okay, so she's got some sort of... I thought initially that she was just going to be able to read people's minds. I was like, okay, cool, the bullshit power.
Yep. But no, I thought it was actually done quite well. How quickly did you twig that when she goes to the yard where there's the dogs chained up and the voice says to her, set them free? How quickly did you twig that that's where the
first time
guys
it said
kidnapped the girls? Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, the girls are in there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe she's going to free the dogs and the dogs will lead her to the girls. And then I was like, or the girls are there. It's one of those two things. And then it turns out to be both, because then she comes back and she's like, the dogs are just sat outside the door hey, it's over here. But the thing is, even though I guessed it so quickly, I was like, I still... sometimes when you're watching a show and the main character doesn't do something that is clearly the right thing to do because you've spotted the problem. It's weird because in this one I wasn't mad that she didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, presented with what she had to go on and with the clue set them free, you'd be forgiven for thinking, oh, probably free the dogs then.
Yeah, but also the voice in her head is such
specific.
Bullshit. Just
why doesn't it just go, there's girls in the shed?
Well, no, it goes set them free. They set the dogs free. Then it shuts up for a day and just goes, oh, hey, now you're here to apologize. Yeah, by the way, there's still something in there. Set it free.
The voice just had a day off, wakes up, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. It was so close.
Just bleary-eyed. Oh, sorry, I didn't set my alarm. Set them free!
It's like, why have you let the dogs go? I don't give a shit about the dogs.
Yeah. That's just the voice is having an off day. She's like, yeah, kill the fucking dogs. That's not the kind of setting free I meant. I meant set them free from life.
Set them free. What are you doing? No! Not like that. If I wanted you to kill her, I might have said Old Yeller or something.
Yeah. But the thing, I quite liked that initially Ben's like, you sound like a fucking crazy person. And then he rocks up at stupid o'clock in the morning, just like, yep, I'm here to free the dogs. And she's there like, oh, but you called me a crazy person. He's like, I mean, I'm not wrong. But
yeah, I like this show a lot.
yeah, and the thing is, it gave me enough to sort of go, okay, I'm kind of seeing what this is about. She's a police officer. She's going to use her new crazy psychic brain to like fuck up criminals, or it's going to go horribly wrong. Yeah. I'm down for either. Probably horribly wrong because she's going to have to kind of fucking justify some shit.
Yeah, and then given how the show ends, that I thought actually that was very Stephen King. Like when
I think this is quite
who was on the
maybe
flight
influenced by Stephen King.
Yeah, for sure. But everybody who was on the flight wakes up and goes back to the hangar where they keep
watch
the
it
plane
explode,
to test
and
it.
That is not going to be suspicious.
Not at all.
They are not about to spend episode 2 being fucking questioned. But I'm hoping that through that we'll get to meet some of the other characters, because I think that sort of not slideshow, but that like quick cuts between scenes was them sort of being like, here are potentially your main characters for season 1.
Yeah. Like when
or like just in general, like the main characters of the show.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, and also
you'll probably finish the series by the time we come to record.
No, I need to finish Rebels before we record the pilot of that. But I think one of my the most, I think maybe my favourite sort of like nice moment in this is where like they're sort of like, oh, you know, my kid's got leukemia. His mum who's like, well, even if they've survived, my kid's definitely dead because he had leukemia. And then he comes back like 5 years later, and she's like, oh shit, I've got like another 6 months with my kid that I thought was dead for 5 years. And then they get to go to like the cancer clinic and go, it's that lady on the airplane. She did some banging research in 6 years. Typed up in a paragraph, and we were like, Jesus, that's not going to work. Turns out it does. And like this kid's going to get potentially to survive, and like, and then his wife's all like, oh, it's a miracle. And he's like, yeah, but you made me go on that holiday. I think it's mostly you. And she goes, I don't fucking think so.
So don't do that now.
As soon as he puts on her, she's like, I think this is bigger than all of us. And I was like, it was a fucking airplane. Yeah, it's bigger than you.
For fuck's sake.
But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see where it goes. I enjoyed this.
It's weirdly, as I was watching it, I was thinking, I bet you like this, because it was reminding me a little bit of Frequency. For no reason other than it was more like
some time
sci-fi
shit.
Supernatural. Yeah, it was sci-fi supernatural rather than like supernatural, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong, I like some supernatural stuff. It just has to be done right. Look at you fucking Legacies.
You know who was an executive producer on this?
Stephen King?
Robert Zemeckis. No. Robert Zemeckis, who, you'll remember, he did Back to the Future, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, I'd have totally known who
he also did that. Do you remember Beowulf? Did you see that? The animated
yeah,
Ray Winston.
That was sick.
Yeah, he did that as well. And I think Neil Gaiman did some work on that. I think he might have written bits of it, or he adapted like the poem.
Screenplay.
Or something.
Neil Gaiman.
There you go, screenplay. Yeah, I need to watch that again, because I remember seeing that in the cinema, and at the time, like, there's a monster in it that kind of freaked me out because it just screams all the time. And there's this amazing. Do you remember you did say you have seen it? Right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the fight scene where Ray Winston? Well, it's not him, but his animated character Beowulf just strips naked, and then he has a fight with that monster.
I'm pretty sure that's like the first fight.
Yeah, but they like get like candles to get in the way of his knob and stuff. It's like, what are you doing?
I know, I'm not gonna lie, I was very disappointed.
I'm gonna watch that again at some point soon.
Is it on any sort of streaming service we can do a watch party with?
I think it's on Prime. I don't know if you can do a watch party with Prime, but
we can figure it out. Because obviously, when this goes out, watch parties will be a thing of the past because COVID's going to be gone. Because it's going to be 2021, and that's how this shit works. It's only here for another few weeks.
It's not on Prime anymore. I'm sure it was
Bollocks.
up until very recently. Oh, maybe it's on Netflix.
Oh, maybe. Well, yeah, Into the Spider-Verse is on Netflix. But yeah, all of these streaming services need fucking group buys. Or watch pies.
Yeah.
Or group play, or whatever fucking Disney Plus have called it. And it's so weird for them to be ahead of the game. Like, it genuinely is wrong. Beowulf is not on.
No, I've just checked.
Oh, it's not on Netflix either.
Yeah, that's a shame. Oh, well, we'll find a way to watch it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm going to send you 1,000 copies.
What we got? Oh, we got the first UK-US of Season 6.
It's Teachers.
Teachers. I loved Teachers. Like
100%. Whatever, like, however good the American version is, you're going to fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's not going to be as good as the UK one, because the UK one's got Rick from Walking Dead in it, and I knew him from this before I knew it was him in The Walking Dead. So when I saw him show up in The Walking Dead, I was like, the fuck is Simon doing it?
I think I'd watched some of Teachers before I watched The Walking Dead. Because it was like, it's a Channel 4 show, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was quite a later on one. So I watched some of it.
It was... I think it was one of the very first box sets I was given, because we had a family friend who every sort of Christmas or birthday would give me like a box set, and without fail it was like a 10 out of 10 series of TV. It turns out she actually gave me series 1 of Breaking Bad in 2008, and I didn't watch it until I got to uni in 2012.
Well, I mean,
so that was stupid. I had it for 4 years and I didn't watch it.
You could have been one of those people who was like, I like Breaking Bad before it was cool. But no, exactly. You're an idiot like the rest of us.
Hello.
Who just went, oh no, that doesn't sound very good. What? It's got meth in it.
Sounds Moorish.
Yeah. I mean, Breaking Bad, they really hit the nail on the head just being like, oh hey, let's make a really addictive show about meth. And it was like, it's thematic, I like it.
So yeah, Teachers next week. That'll be jolly fun.
Yeah, well, maybe not for you. I remember getting confused between Teachers and Waterloo Road. Because I remember that I'd watched a TV show.
Waterloo Road is about teachers, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's a bit about the kids and a bit about, like, the teachers. It's not.
Isn't there a bit where a bus, like, blows up or falls off a cliff or something?
A bus, I think, hits a kid, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And there's a kid who steals a bus. They're not very good kids.
Imagine that. Imagine being a kid and having the balls to go, yeah, I reckon I could drive a bus, when you don't even know how to drive a car.
Mate, at some point, someone... his girlfriend broke up with him, and he...
Stole a bus.
No,
That's a very Peep Show plot.
Oh no, I mean, genuinely, he had a gun. Like, he found... Someone had been, like... One of the, like, cool kids had hidden a gun at school, and this kid had found it, and he was like, oh, I'm upset. And then he went and shot his girlfriend. I was like, what the
Bloody
fuck?
hell.
Yeah.
This isn't America.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, he goes to prison, obviously. Because he then just... He's like... Because he just breaks down, like, I didn't mean to do that. And it's like, well...
Well, you did.
That's what happens when you play with a gun. But the thing, it looks like he genuinely fired it by accident, but that's because we don't get taught how to use guns safely.
And that's why we should all be taught... We should all have a take your gun to school day. On a regular day, not sporadically, like some American kids choose to.
Oh, okay, let's...
Bye!